Way to end on a great note right there. Woo! How you guys doing today? Let's hear from everybody. What do you think so far? Let me just start this out by reminding everyone, and I had to reboot my computer. I wanted to make sure we didn't have any glitches in the middle of class here. So I just went through a reboot. Let me just pull up my PowerPoint so I'm ready to go here when we get done talking a minute. But remember, we're doing 1 hour. There's a lot of information, and I just kind of want to reset where we are at this point in Ignite. We're doing 1 hour, 3 days a week. We could do 4 hours, 3 days a week. How would that look on your guys' schedule, right? And the information that we're getting every single day feels like 4 hours of information. And I also want to make sure that you realize the power behind the exercises and all that. We didn't take them out on purpose. We are making this work to where more of you will attend, more of you will get more into action, and you will take some time to do the exercises in between the calls, to read the manual before our call, to read it right after our call, to then go through your notes and really make this thing happen. And do it within an hour where you can actually commit to it and do an hour, because committing to 4 hours, 3 days a week for 2 months is a major commitment. And yet we want to make sure you get the information and get it applied as well. So we're looking for that. I would love to just hear some of you share your feedback so far, how you like the class. I want to even hear, is it working? If you're implementing things and getting it into place, how is this format working for you that it's working? And then if somebody would even share how this format's not working and what challenges you find yourself running into after each session and coming back, the next day, and what are your challenges to get it implemented? I would love to just get a little feedback on that for a couple minutes here.
Hi, Brad. I like the format. I like that it's only an hour. I think if it was 4 hours, it would honestly be too much for me, because with just the hour, it's a lot to take in. So I'm a fan of the hour-long class.
And I so appreciate that too, because it is, so that's what I'm bringing is to make sure you still get the 4 hours of information that you can relay to your business in that hour, and have more people be able to commit to it and be here to really get Ignite at a level you've probably never gotten it before. And repetition will help. So how's it working on your end? Are you doing any of the exercises? Are you seeing some of the stuff show up in your business? Have you had any successes with it yet?
I've been doing, like yesterday I sat down, there's like so many classes. It was in the Sparks book. That's where it was. So on Wednesday, all the questions, like why would your client want to work with you? Those kind of questions. And I found that to be very helpful, because I do have to sell myself. So I have to be ready with those answers. So I enjoyed that. And just all of the tidbits that you pass along the way, they're sticking.
Great. Good. Anybody else want to share anything, your experience?
I think that the approach that you have, you've got an easygoing approach, but it's active and it's engaging. And I just got a lot out of you role playing the script for following up on leads. To me, it's very helpful to see somebody else's style and to hear a different approach. We get a lot of instructors here, and some are dry and some are very rote. And I just like you have an engaging and interactive way of speaking and a way of presenting things. And it's something that has been beneficial to me to emulate. I kind of have, you pick somebody who's got a personality that you like, and you run with it, or something that's easy for you to adopt. And you've got an easy, for me at least, way to do things.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Scott. I can tell you're plugged in too. When I met with the leadership group yesterday, they were like, let us know like who's really plugged in. I know who's plugged in just by who's showing up and how they participate and all that stuff. And not that anybody else is less plugged in, guys. I'm just saying I've noticed that with you, Scott. You have stood out. So thanks for attending and showing up and being here for sure. Anybody else want to share before we jump into our content for today? Man, we got a great group showing up here. Way to go, guys. All right, so what I did was I put my contact information in the chat box, my cell phone, my email, to make sure that you guys can reach out to me if you have any questions. If you feel like you're stuck on something after a session, or if you review the material and you're going back through, or even just somewhere throughout your day, something pops up. You actually get a buyer that calls. Today we're talking about buyers. So today tomorrow you get a buyer that calls and says, yeah, I'm ready to go. And you don't know what to do next, right? And so just, text me, call me, email me, whatever. I will respond. And I'll also challenge you that, guys, I can be a contact for you, right? I'm not sure I've gotten a handwritten note from anyone yet. Well, I know I haven't gotten a note from anyone in this class yet. I'm not sure if I'm in your database yet. And if you're using command, it's real easy to put me in there, right? You can also tag me on the referral side. And again, that, as I say all that stuff, there's a million things that I could have you guys go do. And it's going to sidetrack you from the most important thing that I want you to get out of the most important habit or ritual that I want you to get into while you're going through Ignite is you're adding 5 people a day, adding 5 people a day, adding 5 people a day. Guys, look at the room right now. If you see people that are in another office and they're an hour away, we had I can't remember who shared it with us on the very first class, but just networking with the agents that are an hour away to get those referrals. A 25% referral. If you built your entire business on referrals, 25% referral, as an example, would be the pure profit of a transaction. Pure profit, right? Anything below the 25%, the other 75% is time, energy, money, team, expenses, all the stuff that the person giving the referral away is taking on. And the follow-up and the showing houses and the writing the contract and all that stuff. So the 25% referral is pure profit. You gave somebody a name and you got a referral. So you guys with just traffic and everything there, I can't even imagine. I mean, I drove in New York once for 30 days. And now I know why so many New Yorkers can be mean, right? And New Jersey, I don't know what it is with your highways there, but I guess you have, and you guys confirm, are there highways that trucks can't drive on that only cars can drive on? Is that still the case today? Or am I crazy?
They're called parkways.
Parkways. So
Yeah.
I'm there selling T-shirts during like a World Series or Super Bowl or something, whatever. Is like 20 years ago, we were selling championship T-shirts, my pre-real estate career. And I remember just taking my cargo truck on a highway that I needed to get to where I needed to go. And I got a ticket for $80 and I had to get off the parkway and I had to find my way through side streets in New Jersey to get to my location. It was crazy. So anyway, fun stuff. So those referrals can be really good. You guys have 5 people a day, actually for today. If you've got 5 people on this room that you see their name and you don't recognize them from your office, or just jot down all the names, do a search in Google with their name and realtor, or their name and Keller Williams, see if they're in one of the other offices and add each other to your database. Put each other on whatever the command drip plan is. I don't even care if it's just the 8x8 plan. Wouldn't it be fun if somebody actually put you in command and put you on the 8x8 and you started experiencing the stuff and it's like, oh, this is what the 8x8 command stuff is. Oh, maybe I should do that. So play, participate, add each other and help each other get through it and get to that 5 a day. So great. All right. And then the other thing I did, I don't know what is on my eye here. The other thing I put on there is a link. Now, if you've already clicked it, that big long link there, that got you into the database, and you're in my Coach Korn database, basically. And I'm going through those and putting you on just a drip plan. Some of you are already getting it. Some of you I still have to, you're sitting in the hopper. So if you haven't clicked that link yet, click on that and it opens up. It just asks for your name and your email. Put your address in the comment section and hit submit, because I want you to experience what that capture form looks like. Like that capture form, when you click on that, is what I used for my entire team. That I didn't want them logging in and spending time trying to figure out where to add somebody and then figuring out what plan they should be on. If you guys want to experience a really cool system for capturing leads, kornteam.com/leads. I just put that in the chat box as well. And when you click on that, it actually takes you to a page that you'll see my team members' names. And right now, even though I'm solo, it's still got my team members' names on there because I've got my own section. But it says if they're connected and they click that link, it just opens up a very similar form, or if not the same form that I have you guys click on that long link. And they put in the contact information and they hit submit. That is all I want a buyer's agent doing. Or if it's an ISA, that's all I want an ISA doing, is just, we'll give them the list of people to call from the systems of the campaigns that are running. It tells us to call the buyer once a day, every day for 3 days, right? Whatever that plan is. And we just hand them their list to call. When they get somebody new converted, they're verifying their address, their phone number, right? And okay, email too. I'm trying to get your brain to switch off the email, because once you get the email, somebody really easily says, oh yeah, that's good, you can just get me from there. But if you ask for the address first, and then the best number to reach you at, if there's like a steal of a deal, I mean, if some house comes on basically free or half price or something, what's the best number for me to reach you at when you're talking to buyers, right? Then you go, oh, and by the way, do you check email? Oh, great. Yeah, I can just get your email and I'll send you all that stuff. So that's kind of one of my scripts for the buyers. It's like, yeah, we've got this. We'll put you on an instant notification search. We'll talk a little bit about this today, but put you on the instant notification search, which I talked a little bit about yesterday as my value proposition. We will get you properties the minute they go live. You're going to know about them before most real estate agents, right? And so now the buyers, can you feel like the buyers probably getting a little, like they're opening up and they're a little excited? It's like, oh, instant notification before the agents, right? So now I've got them kind of listening to what I'm saying. I say, so let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to pull up a list now of just all the leftovers. This is all the stuff sitting on the market that hasn't sold. I'm just going to print that list off. Where would I mail that to? That's a great script to get the address 95% of the time. So build up the hype. I can get you on this instant notification, and it's just an MLS save search, right? I'm going to get you properties the minute they hit the market. You could say the same thing with our app, that is going to get you the properties faster than most real estate websites will, right? We're not saying all, we're not saying anything, we're not committing, we're just saying faster than most of those big websites out there do, right? And I'll get them to you as soon as those things hit the market. I'll start off with the list of just the leftovers, the things that haven't sold. They're probably overpriced. I'm just going to print that out. Where would I send that to? And they'll say, like my mailing address? Yeah, that'd be perfect. What's your mailing address? See how I just do that in casual conversation? I say, and if I see a sweet, sweet deal, what's the best number to reach you at? Great. Is there any other numbers? Okay, great. Now I can say, oh, by the way, do you check email? Now, here's the trick, guys. I don't print and mail anything except a handwritten note to follow up the call. I just say, oh, you check email? Great. I'll just send you that list by email, but I already have their address, so I can send them the note. Make sense? So those are just fun things, you know, write this stuff down, pay attention to it. The good news is I believe we're recording all these. Have you guys all found the recordings? Are we finding the recordings? You going back and watching anything yet? Maybe. All right. I know you guys are in listen mode here. So
I've watched them, Brad.
yeah, okay. So and I would say, really, guys, like right now, this is your commitment for the next 2 months. You are going to invest in your real estate business and just add one little new thing or do something a little different from each session that you haven't done before. That's growing your business, right? And especially if you're new, you don't even know what you've done yet and what you've tried. So go just commit to it. It's like 1 hour a day, every day during Ignite, somewhere in there, even if it's a night before you go to bed or you come into the office a little early. This investment in like putting Ignite on the pedestal while we're in it and going through it this session will make the next session. It's going to be the same way if you go through it again, right? When we redo this and roll right back through it again, we'll teach the same thing again. And then by the third time, you're going to really start seeing things show up. So, all right, anybody have any questions? Let's see here. Okay, there we go. All right, let's jump into the material here. Okay, so today we're talking about negotiate the deal. That's not right. I'm on Elements. I got the wrong one. That's what I get for having to reboot my computer right as I was logging in. Let me get back out of there. Sorry, guys, for the delay here. Let's see, Spark number 7, find and win with buyers. That's where we are. All right, how many of you this topic is pretty important to you and that's why you're here today? Like this is a major focus for you and if you would share what you hope to get out of today's session. So I know that part.
Brad, I want to draw up buyers to my listing. I've got a listing and it's been on for a while and I've had one price reduction and now it's like, you know, I'm trying to throw everything I can at driving buyers in there.
To drive buyers to the property?
Yeah.
Great, gotcha. Okay. Anybody else have anything they wanted to hopefully get out of this? All right. Going once, going twice. All right. So let's jump into this. So this is find and win with the buyers. And yes, I will touch on how to get those buyers to your listing or just some ways that I do it, right? So today we're really just looking at number 1. We're still on growing our business. Guys, by the way, if you haven't downloaded all the manuals and just kind of skim through them, or if you have access to the PowerPoints, I'm not sure, I think they're on there. Just skim through the content. I mean, the elements section is very detailed, specific things that everything that we've done during Spark will just kind of fit kind of over the top of it and be an umbrella. And then the elements get into the hardcore, like real deal stuff. And I mean, you think I'm sharing scripts and ideas and marketing tips and value propositions now. I mean, wait till, you know, what I can share is only what I've done in my business. And it generates 100 sales a year. So I do a lot and I make a lot of things work. So I'll be able to share a lot for you guys through this whole thing. That's why I love sharing Ignite. I don't really run out and like say, hey, let me teach Ignite. I usually like to teach a session or two, but when Mary Beth says we're all in, we're gonna double and triple all of your guys' production, that gets me excited, right? So I'm here with you for the long haul to make sure you guys get huge results. So we're talking about finding buyers. So again, these are just NAR stats. 89% of buyers purchase their home through a real estate agent. So that's a good thing, guys. 89% of all buyers are absolutely using a real estate agent. So you've already got that going in your favor, right? 41% of them found their agent through a referral from a family or friend, right? So your database, the reconnect plan that I talked about, going from A to Z in your database and getting everybody off your Facebook friends list into your 5 a day, getting everybody off your cell phone contacts into your database 5 a day, and just connecting with 5 a day. Don't worry about trying to get them all in there. Like, you all want to get the next deal. You actually want to get probably the next 5 deals as soon as possible, right? You can't do anything bulk. You can't just export and import and expect to get that 41% referral. However, if you do 5 a day and you really connect and use Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, write the handwritten note, and then put them on a smart plan, a drip plan that will remind you to call them again in a few weeks, call them again a few weeks after that, and then put them on a 36 touch, right? So I'm talking a little fast here. So if you haven't been in some of the previous sessions, go back now and start watching them. Like if you got some hours on the weekend, watch them all from the beginning and grab into this message that we're talking about, because it's in just about every session. Is the 5 a day, connect with them. Forget about real estate at the moment, right? If they are the 1% of the person that is moving right now this month and you're talking to them, I promise you they will say, it's kind of weird you called today. We're thinking about buying, or we're thinking about selling, or we just went out and looked at some open houses. Guys, you don't need anything else for that. That's the trigger. You're going to grab onto it naturally. However, you got to get those 5 a day in and get those connections started so that you can grab this 41%, and then you'll have more 89% chances of getting the business. 75% of all buyers interview one real estate agent. So if you're brand new to real estate or you haven't closed that many deals, that's in your favor. I mean, if you just get in front of the buyer and you don't let them hang up the phone, you've got a 75% chance. Let me say what that means. Track your results. Remember, we were talking about the pyramid and what are your true conversion rates? So from the time you get a call, if they're a true buyer and you talk to 4 buyers, and I just said 75% interview one agent, how many new buyers should you be working with?
75%. How many?
How many new buyers should be working with if you talk to 4 buyers and 75% will talk to one agent? 3. You'll have 3 new buyers for every 4 buyers you talk to. Got it? So if you're talking to 20 or 30 buyers and you've only gotten 1 to even talk to you, first of all, are the other 19 buyers, and they may be in the 1% pool, and they may be whatever. However, if they're buyers and they're like, yeah, we're pre-approved and we're out looking, and you talk to 4 and you get 1 buyer, guys, there's your signal. If you're tracking that and you're tallying how many buyers like are ready, willing, and able, we're going to talk about that in a second, and you get 1 out of 4, then you're something's not right. You would probably need to work on what? Like your scripts, or getting them in for the consultation, getting them to sign the buyer's agency, all that stuff. And I'm going to give you guys some, we've got a whole section in here, like not a whole section, just a point where we talk about getting them in for the buyer consultation. And I'm just going to tell you the way I operate is I don't want this to come across wrong, but I don't try to trick people into signing stuff. And I'm not saying that the bad way, but like, I don't use tactics like, so we have to get this form signed in order to show you homes, things like that. I want them to understand the process, the value proposition that we talked last time, that I am the guy that's going to guide them through the process and get them the best deal. I'm going to share a little script with you on that coming up here in a second, but it's to get them to say, oh yeah, how do we do that? And I'll share with you the script to get the buyer's agency signed. Now, getting them in and all that stuff still goes back to the very beginning. You have to connect. Family, occupation, why are you moving? Who's moving with you? Why is that date important to you? These are like old bold scripts, right? So why is that date important to you? What happens if that date doesn't happen? What if it happens that you go out and you love the first house you see? Are you ready to buy? Those are all like qualifying questions, right? So as you connect with somebody, you can ask more of those questions. So if you have 4 of those conversations, you should get 3 buyers according to the stats. And then 51% of buyers visited an open house in a way to search for homes. So I'm going to preface like all of today. When you're looking for buyers, write this down. Immediate contact. And it's going to be annoying as heck. It's going to be the most annoying thing, because if an internet lead or any kind of sign call or anything comes in, if you could hit a timer on your watch, you got about 5 seconds to get them live on the phone if you want to convert more of them. Because remember what we talked about before, 100% of the people are moving, 100%, but only 1% are moving today. And there's another 1% moving next month and another 1% moving next month. And so a lot of times when buyers are calling in, there's a lot of inquiries that we're looking for a rental, those kind of conversations. If you're in the conversation mode to break the ice with family, occupation, why is that date important to you? Then even with the renter ones, we can pull them out of renting mentality into owning mentality, especially now with the interest rates being the way they are. You can share with them, renting is, here's a great one for those rental calls. Say renting is so hard to find because there's not one source like our MLS for the properties that are for sale. This is the conversation I have. There's not one source for you to go to. And you have to actually, like, every day use every single source, and you have to call the seller immediately because just an admit popped up. You need to hit the seller on the day that their current renter gave their 30-day notice, because as soon as somebody gives notice, they're going to probably have the property re-rented again. So it's not a fun process. I mean, I will help you in any way I can. I've got 1,500 realtors around Bergen County here that I can touch base with, see if they have any rentals up, that kind of stuff. But it's just it's very spotty, right? Now, have you thought, or have you even tried to get approved for a loan? 90% of the time, no, we haven't even started that process. My credit's not good, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I tell you what, I've got a great resource that let's check with them, because let me tell you something. Mortgage payments, a house payment is less than what rents would be. So you can actually have a nicer house and less payment, and you own it. So if we can make it work, I've got the great contact that can just run your stuff. It's a quick phone call, probably get everything he needs in about 15, 20 minutes, and he'll get you a pre-approval and let you know either what you would qualify for or what you might need to do. So that's just another script that I use with every single buyer lead that comes in, right? So when I get those buyer leads, I don't have any sitting, or, oh yeah, here we go. When I get those buyer leads, I get all this information. I mean, and what I do is I start here at the top. How'd you hear about us? Oh, great. Well, what is your name again? Okay, let me get your number real quick. And then I might come down here and go, so tell me what your situation is. How soon are you moving? Blah, 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 blah. Right. And I go through, and then I come back up and go, all right, so what is your address now? And I get their email. I just make sure this form is filled out, because this blue for buyer means that Cody New should be in my database. Cody New is actually closing on a house on the 18th of this month. Literally came off the internet. Oh, nope, that was a refer. It says, oh, realtor.com. Yep, came off of a realtor.com lead. I answered the phone immediately, started a conversation with him, and sold him a house. And it's a $160,000 house. Guys, that's for me, that's $6,000. That's probably what your guys' net is after expenses in your market. Anyway, so it is when that gets captured. Now, Cody, I don't believe I even got him too far in the cultivation. That's what we're looking at now, is when that lead comes in, the blue form is how I capture it. And then I get them in the database and I start the 8x8 plan, right? And they get tagged as a prospective buyer in the database. And then the campaign's running to make sure I don't forget about it. Now, he went to see a house pretty quick, because if you can use those scripts to go, so is there one in particular, or what are all the properties you have sitting in front of you that you have questions about? I can pull them all up. That's another way I snag a buyer off the internet leads, is whenever they call in, hey, how much is the property at blah, blah, blah. And so you ask your qualifying questions, you can give it to them, or, oh, well, so what price range are you looking? How soon are you looking to move? We get that conversation started. But then I will say, now, are there any other properties you were trying to get information on? Because guys, nobody's calling people back. I mean, they call them back 3 days later, or they don't call them back at all. So are there any other properties on your list? Just give them all to me. I can pull up every single property you want information on. I can dig up anything. So I'm going to get you my cell phone too. After we hang up here, I'll get you my cell phone number. You can just text me any address you want information on. So I become that trusted resource that's always going to return their calls, and it's all about immediacy. So let's talk about this cultivate part though. On cultivating the buyer leads, whether they're a lead or just a contact and they're not doing anything right now, they go into the database and you're going to cultivate them. You got to nurture them. And that is totally relying on campaigns, action plans, smart plans, whatever you want to call them, with whatever database you're using. And that is going to kick them out to either be an appointment to go meet, to find out more, whatever. But it starts out getting their information, address, phone number, getting them in, sending them a handwritten note to where that is just automatic. You do it all day long. If you guys, let me see if I've got how I can find the notes section here. It's the way I'm looking at my screen here. I don't know if I can get back to it. Oh, there's the chat. Okay. Let me put this over here. So if you guys want to go to notecardcafe.com, notecardcafe.com gives you high gloss. See how everything's just kind of in reach right from the little workstation right here. I got my blue forms, got my yellow forms, got my handwritten note. Your workspace needs to complement what you're doing, and it's about speed, catching their information. If that buyer comes in, I reach right over here and there's my blue form. If the seller calls in, I reach right over here, there's my yellow form. If an investor calls, I reach right here, there's my green form, right? And one of the things we're talking about today are those capture forms. Here's the handwritten note. I mean, it's a nice, cool, see if it's upside down, really nice, glossy, blank inside, comes with the envelopes. You get 75 cards with 75 envelopes for $16.99. Now, I have gone to stores, I've gone shopping, everything's thank you, or, of course, birthday, graduation, all that other stuff. You just can't find blank note cards. And for $16.99 to get 75 of them, that's still, even though it's not branded, right? It's still got doors on it, or door knockers. I think I just used the last of my door knocker ones. I already put in an order for some more. I usually keep about 3 or 4 packages around everywhere. All right, any questions so far before I move forward? So guys, those smart plans are your cultivation. And here's the thing, even if they're a potential buyer right now, everybody you add gets to be cultivated. If they are buying right now and you're going to get some more information on a property and go show them a house, you're still cultivating them as a buyer to write a contract in the next 3 houses you show them. So there should be a smart plan or a campaign for that, right? If they own their house, there's a neighborhood smart plan where you can just send them information on their neighborhood every time something in their neighborhood comes on the market. And what they do is they see like, what, our neighbors are getting that, our house is nicer than that. You got that seed planting and cultivating that and turning them into a client before they normally would be. All right, so like I said the other day, have you added yourself to the database, right? Have you added yourself to the database? Any questions on anything so far? I know I'm moving kind of quick, but again, it's Friday. We have an hour, and I want to get you guys on your way here in the next 25 minutes. Maybe 28 or 29, the way my class has been going. All right.
Brad, yeah. Can you talk about at an open house, you get buyers in there and usually it's like, okay, you want to capture them and you get them to sign the COVID sheet, and whether or not they don't put down their address, and sometimes they put down the wrong phone number or a fake one or whatever. But I mean, how do you work at an open house to get all that information on your blue sheet? And are those blue sheets at cardcafe.com also, or are those proprietary to Korn Academy?
No, I mean, so the difference is in your toolbox is an actual form that looks very similar. It's the same thing, name, address, all that stuff, and all the qualifying questions. Okay. All you're going to do differently is print them on blue paper. Like I actually go buy a ream of blue paper and yellow paper and have them sitting in my office at all times. And I print off I mean, buyers are coming in more than everybody else. So there's a stack of blue buyers in here. I'm just about ready to, well, no, I got still quite a few yeller sellers, right, that are in my box here. So they're just easy, quick, grabbable. You just put them on the color paper that you want them on. You're going to love the form that's in the toolbox. I mean, it's got the great qualifying questions, which are all similar to mine. I've just had mine forever. Okay. Right. So yeah, in the open house though, I may not necessarily have that. Guys, what I would do is just have, now think about this. When I would hand them a little card with a pen, just like a card stock, you put 4 on a page, cut it in quarters, just make a stack of those for your open house, right? And it just says name, right? And then it says address, phone number, and then real small, it says email. I don't care if I get their email, right? Because that's the easiest one to put, Mickey Mouse at 123.com. But their phone number, and then I just have a box under there that says planning a move in the next 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6 months to a year, 1 year to 2 years, or 2 years plus. And they just check a box. Yeah. Now, what I've also done with those card stocks is I would turn it over, and after they left, if I hand it to them with a pen, I mean, you're going to get more people to fill it out. I was probably at 75% conversion of everybody that came through filled that out for me, right? However, what I figured out is when I take that card stock, as soon as they leave and they drop that back off, I would turn it over and write down, it was a mother, her daughter, and her daughter. Like it was 3 ladies, because they might put the husband's name down. And so what I would do at my open houses is that was my office time. I had my notes there. Every card I got, if nobody else was behind them, I'm flipping that over and I'm writing my note. And so I would write notes to the mister. It's great meeting you today. It's always exciting to see people, you know, shopping for a home and upgrading their family lifestyle or whatever, you know, just something generic. But I found out that they would put like their husband's name down and I didn't meet the husband. So then I could personalize the note more and go, it's great meeting your mom and your daughter. Look forward to blah, blah, blah. And then let me back that up. Fastpeoplesearch.com. Yeah. Fastpeoplesearch.com is where you would go to verify the address along with MLS and any other source, Google, whatever. So you're going to verify it by looking at those other sources. And most of that you can do on your phone while you're there at the open house. Make sense? Yep. Fast People Search is unbelievable. Like you might find the address they put down it's not listed as their current address, but it's in their pile of past addresses. So it's probably accurate. And then I go to the MLS to double check it. Okay. Let me say something else about that cultivation process. Remember guys, got bounced around into some different screens. On Cultivate, 98% of the people that you add in your database every single day, according to the way I'm sharing how to do this, is going to go in a cultivation program. Cultivation 8x8, nothing about real estate. You want real estate layered in there, but not all about real estate, because 98% of the people you add to your database, if you're doing 5 a day, are not buying real estate right now. So there's no reason to hammer them with real estate. I wanted to make sure I got that point in there. Oh, and then one other thing on your smart plans, when you do put people in your database and you start them on a smart plan, make sure there's one last step that says the plan is over, start another plan, start another smart plan, whatever, right? Got it? Yep. So this is, you know, again, in the hour, I don't want to get caught up in the details of command, because even if I was teaching a command class, you're not going to remember anything. Like we'll walk through the steps and we'll go in and we'll start a plan. Well, tomorrow or the next day, when you actually get a buyer, you don't remember how to do it anyway. So you get to master command by using command every single day. If you put in 5 people today and you seriously cannot figure out how to start any kind of smart plan, you've got a tech person there in the office that'll show you how to click a button and it's done. If you don't add people this week, you're not going to do anything with command. So there's no reason for us to spend any time on it. Use command every single day, 5 people a day, or whatever your database is, right? If you have another database you're using, stick to it, but just start feeding in 5 a day. And don't get hung up on, well, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to use it. You're going to learn how to use it in about a week if you add in 5 people every single day, right? Okay, so on this one, qualifying your leads. So the buyer lead sheet, we just talked about that. There's now they have it qualified as A buyer, B buyer, C buyer. And you could actually have that as a category. However, B buyers and C buyers, I mean, there is A buyers is somebody that's ready to go right now. That's going to happen less than 1% of the time, 1% of the people that you're talking to today. There's going to be another probably 3 to 5, maybe if you're really good, 10% that might be a B, and something needs to happen for them to become a buyer. And then there's a C buyer that's just no urgency yet. They're just checking the market. They haven't even gotten pre-qualified yet. They haven't done anything yet. That's a C buyer. See, what with me, I kept a generic 8x8 plan that goes to everybody. Like I have a for sale by owner 8x8 plan. I have an expired 8x8 plan. I have a builder 8x8 plan, but I have a generic 8x8 plan that is, did you send the note? My resume that just says, here's how the Korn team works. I've been in the area, blah, selling 30 years, 2,500 homes, chicken soup from the soul story, how we help somebody story. There's a phone call in there. Then another link to the website if they want to find out how much a neighbor's house is for sale. So there's a little bit of real estate triggered in there. I can use the generic one for anybody and everybody. I don't have, like, even if they're for sale by owner or an expired, if I don't know what to put them on, I just throw them on my generic one. It's still going to work. It's still going to have my phone call in there. They're still going to get the handwritten note. It's just maybe not cultivating them more on purpose to list faster. It's just keeping me in touch with them. So understand under ABC, once you make a connection and you put them on an 8x8 and you follow the plan, write the note, make a couple more calls, you're going to get into relationship with them. So again, I don't bulk my stuff together because I don't do anything in bulk. I operate at 5 a day. 5 people today are going to get some kind of contact 4 weeks from now. It's called a phone call because that's what pops up. And 5 people, whether they're A, B, or C, is going to get a phone call. Now, the difference is an A who's ready to do something, I'm still going to throw them on the 8x8, but they may have asked for something like who's the contact, whatever. I can add an extra like to-do item in my task list that I need to get them, pull up the expireds or do whatever. So just know that with the generic plan, I can also customize and add things in there, like add a phone call for tomorrow to follow back up with them about something I sent. So I might set them up on an MLS search, and then I have the default part that I put in there to start driving by the properties, doing all that stuff. And then it reminds me, it triggers me like, did they get the email? So that's the next day. There's a second phone call for an A buyer just to say, hey, I'm just making sure you got that list of properties. Oh yeah, we got them all. We're looking through them. Okay, just remember, drive by them. You're not going to want to see half of them. You just text me with anyone that you want information on. I can tell you if it matches or not. And so I can still go through that process, but I can throw them on an 8x8 just in case I get busy and I forgot to stay in touch with them, or I forgot that the smart plans keep you from dropping the ball on anybody. Jump in if you have any questions. Oh, the other thing I would do in your smart plan, if you're adding an 8x or like an active buyer, they're an active buyer or a buyer prospect, meaning buyer prospect is kind of a B, buyer active is an A, and everybody else is just a buyer. They'll still be a buyer prospect if they are thinking about doing something in the future, or they're just maybe just like tagged under buyer long-term or something like that. Again, I don't ever pull those groups up by that, other than my buyer actives I might. But because the plan is running, I don't really have to pull up buyer actives. They're just coming up on my to-do list every single day based on when they were entered. However, what I would say is add a step in there to add them to an MLS search. Now, this is just me, but my filter is everybody goes on an MLS search. Everybody goes on the MLS automatic search, but not just the automatic MLS search. Because if they are a C or the B gets dragged out or life happens and they get knocked off track, even your A buyers will have something happen. Oh my gosh, our kids' softball team made it to the World Series of softball and we got to travel for a week and blah, blah, blah. So even though they were an A buyer, their life got put on hold because now they're going to championship playoffs and living out of hotels and they're not looking at properties. So everybody gets knocked off track at different times. The MLS will keep the properties in front of them. However, if they are a B or a C and any of that stuff happens, they're probably not even paying attention to them. And pretty soon they become white noise and they might not even be looking at them. So you have your smart plans running where you're picking up the phone, calling. Are you getting those? I send them an email with a screenshot of what the email looks like when it comes from MLS so that they're not missing it. And then we have the follow-up phone call and all that. So hopefully that's kind of making sense. I mean, I kind of look at it this way. If you get the address and phone number based on your conversation, right? A C buyer, there's your information. They're going to move someday. So cultivate them, get them on a campaign or an action plan. But a B buyer is going to tell you more about their life. And like, I've got to find a place for my kids or my mom. We got to get in-law quarters. We don't want her to go to a home. And then your A buyers are going to tell you they're pre-approved, when they have to move, all that stuff. So that's another good way to sift through your A, Bs, and Cs. All right, so this is what the form looks like. This buyer lead sheet is in your toolkit. And just think about, if you want to put them on colored paper, you can literally print this off, go to the copy machine, print off 20 copies on your blue paper, your yellow paper, so you're ready to go. And it just has the basic stuff in there. Has an agent taken you out and shown you properties yet? This was one of the best scripts I ever had. So in the beginning, we were like, how'd you hear of us? Great. Okay. And you may have asked it like this. Are you working with another agent? Well, everybody says, yeah. I mean, we're working with an agent. And the next question is, has an agent shown you any properties like in the last week? And if they say yes, it's like, great, who are you working with? We know everybody around here. We really can't remember their name. I don't know. We just met them real quick. So that'll tell me, oh, they don't have a buyer's agency. I don't have to go right into, so have you signed a contract with another agent? They don't even know our world. They don't even know what that means. They don't even know if they signed anything most of the time. So I just asked, have you looked at homes with another agent? Yes. When was the last time you guys went out and looked, and how many have you seen? Right. So why are you talking to them? That's leading to, so what's not working out there? Do you feel like you're missing it? And I get that call all the time. It's like, yeah, we just feel like the agent's not getting us everything. It's like, oh, I'm so glad we're talking today. I mean, I got 30 years experience, 2,500 sales. I know how to get you the properties the minute they hit the market. See, it doesn't matter I said 30 years. It doesn't matter I said 2,500 sales. You're going to say, hey, I've got the best secret weapon ever that agents don't even know they have available. It's the instant notification. I can plug you directly into the system that the realtors use, right? That you don't have access to, but I can push it out to you. I can plug you into that system and get you the hottest properties, the newest properties, the minute they go live. In fact, you're going to get them so fast, you're going to know about them before most agents know about them because they're not watching for this property. So you're going to have my information. I'm going to text you. You can text me address or whatever. So I'll pull up a list of everything that's out there right now today. Those are what I call the leftovers. They're probably overpriced. Something's wrong with them. I'm just going to print that list out. Where would I send that to? You mean like my address? Yeah, that'd be perfect. They give you the 123 XYZ Street. Guys, if you don't get that over 90% of the time, it's because you're hesitating, like you're not supposed to get it, right? It's literally giving them value. And then now, what's the best number to reach you at? Great. Now, do you check email, by the way? Oh, yeah, I check email. It's like, great. I'll just email you all this stuff. You go, oh, that'd be awesome. They have no clue what just happened, right? So that's a great script for getting that information filled in. All right, so role-playing qualifying with buyers. I mean, really what we're talking about here is just getting them to sign the agreement. And I hope you guys from that session, and I'm almost wondering if about every 3 or 4 sessions, we should do like a live in the office where you guys can get together and those that have been reviewing the material and really absorbing it, having these like practice sessions, script sessions for those that really want to do that hands-on. Hopefully you're doing it in between our sessions, right? But I would almost like to make it on purpose. There was a lot of information that you guys shared at the last one. It was about a week or two ago, right? But getting that agreement signed by the buyer. So ask some questions like, to get somebody in for a buyer consultation, I will say stuff like, first of all, you want to find out, is this the first home they bought, right? Is this your first home, or have you bought a home in the past? When was the last time you moved? So the market or the real estate process changes probably every 6 months, right? So if it's been 5 years or 6 years, then my script is, when can we get together for about 10 or 15 minutes to show you the process to getting a home, getting your offer accepted? Because we're talking about buyers right now. When you got about 10 or 15 minutes where I can take you through the process, because I want to show you how to take advantage of the current market. That is my favorite script. Take advantage of the current market and know how to get your offer accepted if there's multiple offer situations, all that stuff. I can just basically highlight the process so that you're informed on making this work best for you, right? So step one is driving by the properties. If they don't do that first, it's not going to be fun. They're going to eliminate half of the homes they don't want to see, but I can tell them that in the consultation. So here's how I work. I'm going to make sure you get the properties the second they go live. You drive by that thing on your way home. If you get it from me at 11 o'clock and you're going to lunch, I want you to go drive by that property if you can, right? Because we're going to find you the best deal, the best home, your dream home, faster than anybody else. Remember we talked about that last time, value proposition? They want it fast, and they want somebody they can trust and somebody they can rely on, so they can text addresses. And then you just text me if you like, even if you don't like the outside, but you figured that if the inside were absolutely perfect and the outside is so, I want you to keep that on your list. Text it to me. All I'm doing is making it sound like I'm not just trying to push them off and, call me when you get pre-approved, right? We're going to do that process. So like with Cody New, that one I showed you, the very first thing that goes out is, here's the lender that I want you to call. So I would have had that conversation. Are you pre-approved? No. All right, I want you to call Sean. Sean's a cool guy. He'll explain the process. He'll get you approved over the phone in about 10 minutes. He'll get you a pre-approval. And then it follows up with an email. Here's Sean's information again. A to-do pops up. Did you text him the lender's number? And then a piece of mail goes out with Sean's contact information on it, right? And then 3 days from now, a to-do pops up to say, did Sean get you a pre-approval letter? If not, call. So if Sean didn't get us a pre-approval letter on Cody New, he didn't call Sean yet. We call Sean. Sean's like, no, I haven't heard from him. We're giving Sean Cody's number, getting him approved. It's exactly how that process rolled out. Cody was just a lead, and I got him to Sean. Our system kept us on top of it. We got Cody approved, and he's buying a house. So that all happened, by the way. I've been out to show him the house twice. Once to show him the house, and then he wanted to go back and measure for curtains. So I have, and that particular property is out in the boonies. I think it was an hour and a half drive from my house, right? So I've got 3 hours invested with Cody, 3 hours, because my inspector went. I didn't go to the inspection because Cody couldn't go to the inspection. So I didn't go to the inspection. I know my inspector well enough that he can he goes over the overview for me as if I were standing there with him, so I could call Cody back and tell him what was in the inspection. I got 3 hours invested for $6,000. What's that dollar per hour, right? $2,000 an hour, by the way. So I'll probably have 1 more hour invested. So I'll be down to $1,500 an hour. I don't care what market you're in. That's good pay right there, guys. All right. Any questions on that? I know I kind of blew through some scripts there. All right. And you guys can jump in anytime, right? Anytime. So actually, this is a great time for you to jump in. I want to see if there was something else I had. I don't think I had any other notes. A lot of this stuff is the role plays, the scripts. Oh, I know what. Scott asked us for something specific on getting more people through your listings. All right. So first of all, let me say, to find buyers, to find more buyers, I'm going to answer that question directly. To find more buyers, if you're adding 5 people a day to your database, that is the key place to find your buyers. Because if you're adding 5 people a day and you put them on a drip, the buyers are going to be coming at you. Remember, I said when you cultivate, whenever they become the 1% today, and you've been in touch with them for the last 3 years, you're the only person that's been in touch with them 3 years, they're going to pick up the phone and call you, right? So there's the best way to find a buyer. Start getting every single person you ever meet in your database. But to answer Scott's question directly, I want to remind you of, like, in command, this is where I want you to set aside an hour, 3 days a week. Now, I know we're going through Ignite, so there's an hour, and that's tough, but you got to have some time to work on your business as well, which is where you give yourself a free 1 hour to go get lost in command. Go click on listings and look at the data that's on your listing, Scott. I'm going to tell you the best way to get the most buyers to your listing. This is just my opinion, but it is fill in every single blank that you can possibly fill in on the MLS. Check as many boxes about the property as you can possibly check. So, like, a lot of times I might have a family room or a living room and a family room and then a rec room, right? If I have 3 rooms, well, if I have one that a family room that could be a rec room or a family room, I'm going to check family room and rec room because I don't know what they're searching by. Think of how buyers search. Now, I'm not saying there's both. It could be a family room or a rec room, right? And then all my room sizes are listed. The flooring is listed. Whatever your MLS lets you put in, however many photos they let you put in, max out your MLS. That's step 1. Step 2 is any site that you have access to on the back end of your listing, and it allows you to enhance it even a little bit more, like add more description or add more photos or add more details, add a virtual tour. I mean, like, even in MLS, I just do a quick slideshow of 5 pictures, throw it in the virtual tour link, and it's a slideshow that's created automatically, right?
Yeah.
That covers my spot for virtual tour. Nobody really ever cares if it's actually a virtual tour when they get there or not. I'm just coming up higher on the searches. I'm getting more exposure. Realtor.com. You all should have access to Realtor.com. If you haven't set up your agent account, set it up. We all get one. In Realtor.com, you can go into the listings and enhance them further, add extra descriptions, do some other things. So enhance a little bit. And this, by the way, this all happens in an hour for me. Remember, I said my listings go live in an hour. As soon as it hits MLS, we update the showing information. We go to Realtor.com within a day or 2. It's on our task list, and add just any extras, right? So we've already got the instant exposure because we filled in the MLS completely. Now we're going to that site. So Realtor.com, you might even have a Zillow account, but Realtor.com will allow you to see the traffic on how many people have been exposed to your home. My listings will show 59,000 people have seen the home online, and 2,100 have actually clicked something on there or looked at it, right? It came across their search 50-something thousand times. They clicked on it 2,000 times. They saved it or watched a tour or went through the pictures 20 times, and we've had 4 showings. So that report, the seller report, is amazing. But max out every site you can possibly do. And my last thing I want to say about that, guys, write down mykw.com or mykw.kw.com. There is under the, I think it's the technology tab. There's a thing called KWLS. KWLS. That was our old way of getting extra exposure out to the web. Well, there are still websites connected to KWLS. So don't forget about it just because command's there. Go to the website, go to mykw.kw.com, log in. It shows you all kinds of cool stuff on that dashboard. But under technology and under KWLS, you can enhance your listing even further. It doesn't bring everything over from MLS. So you can add descriptions of the rooms, things like that. Now that's feeding out to Realtor.com. Realtor.com is the busiest buyer website, not Zillow. The people going to Zillow are sellers. Buyers are really not using Zillow that much. They're going to realtor.com. So that's how you get more people through your house. And when you print that seller report off every week, right before the weekend, to show the seller how many people have seen their property online, and that's just one website. I mean, if you're getting 30 to 50,000 views, the other realtors in your town are getting 5,000 to 10,000 because they didn't fill everything in. They didn't put all the photos in. They didn't do the stuff that we're talking about today. So that, honestly, that is the most true answer I can give you, Scott.
Okay.
Fill in everything, put it everywhere, everything you can add in descriptions. When you're writing a description of a property, think of keywords, right? Man cave. And you, again, we have to be careful on, you know, whatever the protected classes are. You really probably shouldn't say something about family, great family neighborhood. Just be careful on that, right? But think of keywords that a buyer would search for this, like acreage. It's got to be in the description if it's on acreage. Outbuilding has to be in there, along with barn or shed or whatever. I just work those words into there. And then I can go back to like realtor.com and enhance the description even better, add more fluffy stuff and things like that. So think in terms of search, how buyers search. All right. Guys, that's it. We actually finished pretty much on time today. I hope that you guys, anybody have any questions about anything? If I can recap today, respond immediately. I used to hear stuff like return the call within 5 minutes, and then I heard return the call within a minute. Might have even heard 30 seconds. Guys, it's 3 seconds. It's 5 seconds. I mean, instantly. The faster, if you will focus, if you want more business, return every single call the second it comes in. Now, obviously, if you're at your child's wedding or something like that, you can't answer the phone. You're just, those are called lost leads. I lost 30 deals last year because I didn't answer the call immediately. But I know that because I did follow up with them, and the ones I connected with did buy a house or they moved and the return mail came back. So I know I missed 30 deals last year. 30, that's a lot. I mean, that's over $100,000 in income.
Yeah.
So immediacy, get their name, their address, and their phone number, get them on a drip plan, and your database is your business. I mean, that database is where all your buyers that you'll ever need will come from. You won't have to go find any. All right. Good. Was this a good session today, you guys?
Yes.
Yes, very well.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Awesome.
Great stuff, Brad.
That is always good to hear because there's nothing new that I'm teaching you guys. It might be just the way I'm saying it. So thank you guys for being
So
here.
I'm
That
going to
makes-
ask a quick question, Brad.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
basically you said with the different color pages, you're using different, that's a system that you have. Because I know you and you're very, very systematized.
Yes. Well,
So-
and the reason why I do this is because if you're writing them down on a piece of paper, it gets buried under the pile really quick and you never find them again.
Right.
Right.
And
So
I'm
go ahead.
So I understand, if I'm understanding correctly, you have it all on paper, plus you're also using command. So you're systematized on how you're doing it with the papers, systematized with what you're doing once it's in command, correct?
Yes. Let me see if I've got Cody. So one of the things that I do on my blue sheets, so the system is I can take in blue sheets all day long. And I put in the top corner if they're in the database, if I sent the note, and if they're on an MLS search. Those are like the 3 core things that we do with every single buyer. So if I look at blue sheets or yellow sheets laying around my office, because they stand out in every stack, and I pull that out and we don't have the notes at the top, I'm pulling up my database right away going, do we not get them in yet? And they might not even be in the database, which means it's a lost lead. Because I have crazy days just like you guys do. I have blue and yellow sheets everywhere. This could be like somebody's horrifying nightmare in most cases. But I just grab those sheets, and once I do that TP, whatever, I can actually throw the sheet away. I've got everything in the database. I could even scan it and just save it in the database, and I'd have it, and then just throw the sheets away. So that's how I know, is if it says TP and it says note and it says MLS, then I've done the 3 key things, that I needed to do. And see the note, even though I start the plan and it says, did you write the note? I can find the yellow sheet because this is all still fresh. I put them in the database from the colored sheet and get those off my desk every day, right? So I can go back in and check, and it'll pop up and say, did you send the note? I'll just, oh, there's the yellow sheet. It's still here. And look, there's the note. Yep. So I can mark that done. So a lot of my tasks are already done, but because I run my business like a system and the system holds me accountable, even though I do it naturally, my system's making sure I didn't get sidetracked and forget to do it.
So that keeps all your I's dotted, T's crossed, is the systematic way you're doing it.
Yeah, the leads are the most critical thing that we have in our business. And too many times they're just buried under notes and stacks of paper and contracts.
Right, right.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right, guys. And I think I'll just finish with saying, remember, I was doing 5 a day for 6 months, not even putting them on a plan. But and it didn't even have to do with the plan. I was feeding 5 a day every day for 6 months. The following 6 months, I made $50,000 more than I'd ever made in real estate in my personal account, net income.
Yeah.
So it's $100,000 a year system just to do the 5 a day if you blow the rest of it. Do that, write the note, you will double or triple your business.
Exactly. And what's your average price point?
It's horrible. It's
So that's the big difference. I mean, can you imagine you're talking,
yeah, it's horrible. I have to sell 100 homes to get 25% of what you guys could get in income selling 100 homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know some of your markets are somewhat similar. You guys do have some of those price ranges.
We do. We do have a lot of similarities, but it's great that you're able to systematize it, and that teaching us the system is so key.
Yeah. And another reason why I can share is because I had to figure out a way to systematize it, because selling 20 homes in this market, I would have been starving like everybody else. I wouldn't have been starving. I would have lived an okay life and never really had any opportunities to today buying a condo on the plaza. So Country Club Plaza in Kansas City is where the Christmas lights are and all kinds of outdoor shopping. They got the carriage and all that stuff. So if you guys are investing, so that allowed me to buy a condo. So now we can go from the lake, we can go to the condo, we can go down and eat dinner and then just stay in our condo, and then I'll do some Airbnb on it, right? However, if you want to invest in Kansas City, I also have it for that my investor agents that come to town can experience the plaza, come stay in my little condo, and we'll go look at some investment properties. So getting the mind thinking bigger here, but those systems, having that down to where I had to sell 100 homes a year to support my lifestyle, those systems made that happen. It wouldn't have happened naturally. And I'd be flying around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Right. And you said, and I guess in the book that you were talking about was your system worked itself. So you had that freedom to be where you needed to be at a time, and your system was on automatic pilot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Terrific.
All right, guys. Great stuff. Great conversation. All right. We'll see you on
Have a
Monday.
productive weekend.